Guys, Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com, here with a name you know, Ring of Honor's LSG. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? Nice to talk to you again.
Yeah, we spoke a few months ago. You have a lot going on now. You had a lot going on then. How have things changed just in the last few months for you?
Showed up at Ring of Honor again. I didn't know if that was going to happen. I haven't worked with them since I think February, so it was nice to get the call to go back to the tapings, and it was pretty successful.
And that's something that right off the top jumped out to me because last time we spoke, you were not signed there. You were just like, maybe I'll go there, maybe I won't. Has that changed? Are you with the company now?
I'm still affiliated with them. I have not signed anything. Still a free agent.
Interesting.
Just doing my thing and having a good time there.
So how were those tapings? Again, you mentioned you didn't know if you were going to go back. I know that they had like a bubble set up. There were a lot of things going on there.
The tapings were really cool. I think they're doing a great job of keeping everyone safe and making sure that the tapings go as smoothly as possible. I know it's weird to not have fans there, but the setup they have is awesome. And if you've watched it, everyone knows that they've done a great job. And there's just like a whole different level of intensity just having two guys out there with no crowd. I think, they're doing a good job.
Anytime I speak with people on the inside of Ring of Honor, they'll tell me about the changes that have been implemented and the changes that are coming. And I've heard of some pretty big changes that I haven't really put out there yet, but some of them what we've seen are the production side of things. Like it looks completely different than what it used to. Has that required any adjustment on your part as a performer, or are the cameras sort of finding you, so to speak?
You still have to look for the cameras, but you're also not looking out to the crowd for that like affirmation.
Yeah.
You're more worried about your match. You're more focused on your opponent, and I think that translates to TV. It shows that we're competitors actually trying to win a match. We're not really out there like you know trying to play to the crowd too much.
You had your match with Jay Lethal. Tell me how that felt to you, because I mean that was a big performance for you. I mean, I think it opened a lot of eyes for people that knew you primarily as a tag team wrestler to have this type of match.
It was an opportunity for me to show a different side of me. And if you have been following my career, you know that I've been working as a singles competitor outside of ROH
Sure.
for years. I've been doing my thing. So this was kind of my chance to show people what I've been doing outside of ROH. So if you didn't follow my career, this is a good way for you to see what I'm capable of. Everyone thinks I'm just a high flyer and just I can only do tag wrestling, but I pride myself on being a really good technical wrestler, and I think I opened some eyes.
We've seen a lot of that, especially of late. And I mean, again, those that may have come to know you in ROH, if they're seeing like Wrestle Pro or Synergy or anything like that, they're seeing a lot of singles work out of you and a lot of matches that are going 10, 15, 20 minutes long.
Mhm.
After working in a team for as long as you did, was that an adjustment or was it second nature to you?
Well, yeah, because I mean, from a conditioning standpoint, it's a little different because you kind of get those breaks working with the team. But knowing that I'm switching gears and going back to my roots and just working as a singles wrestler, I knew I had to just up my conditioning, especially this year. So during the pandemic, I was just working out like a madman and just making sure that I was prepared. I didn't know if I was going to go back to ROH, but I knew if wherever I did go, I was going to be on my own, not with coast to coast. So I needed to be ready physically.
Do you still keep in touch with Shaheem? How does that work out?
Yeah, we're still close. I was just talking to him this morning, so he's doing okay. I don't know what's next for him. I know he still has a lot of love for Ring of Honor, so he might pop up there again. But I know I've been seeing him at the Monster Factory at those events.
Yeah, Monster Factory, of course, Danny Cage is always doing great stuff over there, but you were doing some great stuff in Alaska, of all places. Please tell me about this trip.
Yeah, so the last one was fun because we actually did two events. The first two trips we only did one event each.
Hmm.
So this one in September, we did two events. One was right outside of Anchorage, and the other one was in Soldotna, 3 hours from Anchorage. And I've been telling people that it's a whole different world. Like COVID doesn't exist out there. We had two packed houses. It's a little crazy. Two packed houses, no one wearing a mask.
Oh,
All the
wow.
wrestlers, we took care of ourselves. We had to get tested to wrestle, and
Yeah.
we all like kept our distance from the crowd as much as possible. But out there, it's just a different world. It kind of felt like 2019 again.
And
And
I know that at one point there you had a dog collar match. Was that your first dog collar match?
It was. It was. So I think like my new gimmick in Alaska is just doing the first of different kinds of matches. I was in the first ladder match. Then I did the
Yeah.
first dog collar match. And then they just announced I'm in the first Singapore cane match, which is coming up in April. So dog collar match was fun though.
Also,
Very intense.
was the match that you had with Jay, was that your first Pure Rules match? Because they just recently brought that back to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, first one. So I mean, I was watching when I was a teenager. I was watching the Pure Rules matches before they unified the belts, but then I never got a chance to wrestle a Pure Rules match. And so this is my first time.
And I've heard that within Ring of Honor, there's some consideration to having like declared divisions, so to speak. Like if you want to compete and go after that Pure Rules title, you sort of declare what kind of match you're going to have. Pure Rules match, standard match, or whatever. Do you think that's going to catch on? Because, I mean, here's the thing. There weren't indies doing a lot of ladder matches before the likes of WWE were doing ladder matches. Could you see independent promotions picking up Pure Rules matches and sort of creating, I don't want to say a farm system, but creating their own division, so to speak?
Definitely, and there are a lot of guys out there that could really show off what they're good at. Like there's a guy, Lee Moriarty, and
Just interviewed him. He's amazing.
blowing up, and like that's the perfect division for him. So if he's not going to work in Ring of Honor one day, I think I could see him kind of like spearheading that on the indies and almost like taking that around to all the events he does. It says, no, you're going to wrestle like a Pure Rules style match, whatever they want to call it. But I think a lot of guys would be up for that challenge.
Ironically, he told me he was supposed to do ROH twice this year, and the Future of Honor thing got pulled because of COVID, and then he couldn't get into the bubble because of a test as well. So, I mean, he is tailor-made for Ring of Honor, as you mentioned.
Totally.
So, I've noticed, like, ROH, even with you saying you're not under contract, you've been more present on their social media. I mean, PR has been interested in you even more. Like they've seen something in you since, oddly enough, losing you at least. What does that say to you that they're behind you a little bit, at least more than they were, but you're not signed there?
Right. I think I'm enjoying it. To me, it's like I've always seen myself as like a hidden gem, something that, and now they're finally uncovering that and finding out what I've been doing this whole time outside of ROH. And like we'll see. Maybe they'll offer something, maybe they won't. And regardless of what happens with the contract situation, I'm gonna just do my best there and try to kill it every time. And I'm gonna be debuting my first pay-per-view match at the Final Battle, so I'll book for that too.
So I mean, how does that make you feel? You've been a part of Ring of Honor for a very long time, and now you're headed towards Final Battle, their biggest show of the year. Well, what's your mentality going into that? And even just the line of thinking of being told, hey, you're wrestling at Final Battle.
Yeah. I think in the past, Shaheem and I were just kind of like happy to be there, especially we were just grateful to be around these guys. And I don't think we were really thinking ahead. But now I'm in a different place in my career. And now I just want to start checking off goals and actually making a legacy for myself in Ring of Honor. I want people to remember me there. So for me to wrestle at Final Battle, that's kind of like that's another goal for me to check off. And then it's another step in the right direction for me to go after some gold.
So one of the more interesting, I mean, we had a very interesting interview last time, but you kind of put it out in the lexicon that Virtual Basement provides nude models of their characters, and even the guys from Virtual Basement were like, oh my god. He was like, I probably shouldn't have sent those to people, but they thought it was very funny. What's the latest you've heard on Virtual Basement and that game?
Right now, I think they're just setting up the gaming system. They're developing all the 3D models for the wrestlers, because right now the roster is huge.
Oh yeah.
I didn't think it would be that big, but it looks like it's going to be a really big roster. I don't know. I should check in with them soon. And I know we're scheduling some mocap soon, so I'll be part of that. I'll get to do. I'm also going to be doing some mocap for some other wrestlers who can't make it.
So I mean, that's got to feel good too, that they trust in you to accurately emulate not just the way that you do things when you're in the ring, but the way that other people do things. That says a lot about your versatility.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. I've seen other guys do like the 2K mocap, and I'm like dying to try it.
Have you gotten
It's a
any?
lot of work.
Oh yeah, I mean those are long days too. Have you gotten any feedback from Ring of Honor about this game? Have they said anything to you about it? I know you're not under a deal right now, so they can't really say anything, but
No, but it's funny because when I remember back before I think I was in Nashville, and I had all these people asking me about it because I was one of the first guys
yeah.
announced for the game, and there was like a buzz in the locker room about it. And I think Virtual Basement was almost wanted me and PJ Black to kind of go around and send out feelers to people.
Yeah.
So we were going around telling people about the game, and it got a lot of people were interested. I don't know how many Ring of Honor guys are going to be involved. I don't know if they're allowed to.
Yeah.
But I know people are interested because, like, I mean, not going to be a Ring of Honor game coming out. So if there's an opportunity to get into this one, I think people are going to jump at it.
Were you big into the games when you were growing up, like wrestling games specifically?
I mean, I was big into like the SmackDown games.
Sure.
I missed the boat on like the N64 era. I've gone back and like played them. You know, I made sure to get No Mercy, and I've played those. But like, I grew up on the SmackDown games. SmackDown, Know Your Role, Just Bring It.
Oh yeah.
Like, the ones I grew up on.
That was a good era. Here Comes the Pain and all that, where you could jump out of helicopters and all kinds of crazy stuff. Like
that was like my Christmas treat. Like that was the one thing I wanted every Christmas, just to get my SmackDown game and play it.
yeah, and to me, like one of the reasons Virtual Basement started the wrestling code was because there needed to be a shift, and we are seeing a major shift in wrestling gaming right now between them, between AEW, between even Retromania Arcade that's coming out. Like there's a lot of options that, quite frankly, we have not had in the past. Because I like you, I would look forward to this stuff every year.
Yeah, I mean, and the cool thing is it's opportunities for more guys to be seen on that level, because before it was just WWE and that was it. Now you've got the chance to have independent stars show up in a video game, and that's a game changer. That's huge.
So we haven't just seen you come back to Ring of Honor. We've seen some familiar faces. We've seen some new faces. We've seen EC3 pop up. We've seen Mike Bennett come back. What are your thoughts on this? Because, I mean, you're very much a free agent. EC3 has been pretty out there saying, you know what, I think I'm going to wait a while before I dedicate to anything long term. How are you viewing this new influx of talent into Ring of Honor?
I think it's exciting. A guy like Mike Bennett, we never got to cross paths. So I basically joined ROH as he was leaving. So we never got a chance to work with each other. And even a guy like EC3, I've never been in the same place with him besides the last taping. So it's cool to just see different faces come through. And even if they're not there a long time, or if they are a long time, it's nice to change things up. I think Ring of Honor's got an awesome roster right now.
Yeah, I mean, and they're adding to it. Like, I think a lot of people wouldn't have expected a guy like EC3 to be there. But when a lot of those releases happened, people said, oh, well, who should go where? Two of the first ones I thought of were, I think Matt Cardona and EC3 should go to Ring of Honor because they're a little bit different, but they provide something different. And I think that's important in a show like this. When you see that and you see these different elements of entertainment come in, what does that do to you? Does that make you adjust? Does that make you bear down on what you're great at? How does that work for you?
I think it elevates you because these guys are very credible. You know, if they come with a lot of, I guess I want to say prestige, and you know they've done a lot in their careers. So as soon as they show up, they kind of elevate everybody around them. I think, and I would just keep doing my own thing, but knowing that being around these guys is going to just make me better, and it's also going to push me to work harder.
So I've started a new thing in all my interviews where I specifically ask the subject to say nice things about individuals. And I don't even necessarily know who they'll be or if you'll have anything nice to say. I mean, Shotzi Blackheart just said the nicest thing she could say about Robert Stone was that he made a satisfying sound when she ran over him with a tank. So, I mean, you never know how that'll work out. So I'm going to throw some names at you. The last Ring of Honor match that you had before you took some time off, Eli Isom.
He's a sweet kid. You know, he's not really very tough, but he is a really nice, sweet kid. he doesn't have the balls to really fight me like a man, but he's a sweet kid.
That was nice. That was pretty nice. How about Danhausen?
Oh boy. My girlfriend's laughing downstairs. Listen to this.
I mean, there's got to be nice things to say about Danhausen. He respects the power of money.
I like his makeup.
Okay.
I like the makeup.
That's all we got for Danhausen? He's so...
Hey, it's a nice. He puts a lot of work into the makeup. Looks nice.
Fair. Okay. Silas Young, a guy that you've been in the ring with a lot.
He doesn't smell as bad as I thought he would.
I think that I get the feeling that Silas Young would know a lot of like natural, like he would own a lot of natural soaps. You know what I mean? Like he probably makes his own soap.
I don't know if he uses soap, but yeah, he doesn't smell as bad as I thought he would.
Just a natural musk, I guess. Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. Okay. Let's see. Cheeseburger's one of my best friends. He's pretty jacked for 140 pounds.
There you go. Here we go. Beer City Bruiser.
Let's see. Beer City Bruiser. Not as scary as Brian Malonis, but he's a scary dude.
Okay, I'll send this right over to Brian Malonis then.
Let's see, Brian Malonis. Actually, one of the sweetest guys I know, but he'll never admit it. He'll never say nice things to me on Twitter.
Wow.
I know deep down he's a nice guy.
Well, we got some people that
all knows.
We got somebody deep down that isn't a nice guy. Bully Ray.
Oh, Bully Ray. Oh boy. Okay, I got something nice to say about him. He put me down through that table so gently. That's how they killed me off in March or February. Whatever.
Oh man. And we got a couple names that I know that you've worked with that have went on to do some AEW work. Anthony Bowens.
Okay. Bowens he's a great guy. The best laugh in the business.
He does have a good one.
He has got a good laugh. I don't know if he's fully unleashed it yet on Dark, but when you hear the real Anthony Bowens laugh, the giggle, it'll change your life.
I get the feeling. I've seen him do some over-the-top reactions on Dark. I don't know if I've heard him uncork the laugh, though, but he's working with Max Caster. It's going to come. It's going to happen.
Yeah, if you talk to him again, or I don't know if you've interviewed him, ask him make him laugh.
Okay. And then Griff Garrison, who I know you worked with last year, he's popped up a lot on AEW.
Yeah. Griff Garrison, he's got some great dance moves.
Really?
Yes. Check out I think his TikTok and his Instagram.
You know what? I don't follow him on either one of those. I need to do that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Man. A couple more. How about the Motor City Machine Guns?
Ooh. The best tag team I've ever been in the ring with.
Really? I mean, they reinvigorated my love for tag team wrestling, to be honest with you. And I got one for you. This one's going to be random, but I noticed when I was looking up stuff for you last time we did an interview, you wrestled Slick Wagner Brown, who used to be a go-to for me in the old EWR games, Extreme Warfare Revenge simulators. He was always super high rated on those.
One of the smartest minds in the business that people don't realize. That guy is like a genius when it comes to putting the matches together.
Man,
he's elevated.
Does it surprise you that he's not working somewhere as like a producer or an agent?
Yes, it definitely is. I know he's got his promotion in his school, but I would love to see him working somewhere for TV and something like that.
Reminder, guys, you can check out Ring of Honor every week. You can check it out on Honor Club. They make it very easy to watch Ring of Honor. And, of course, we have Final Battle coming up on December 18th on pay-per-view. LSG, let the people know where else they can find you.
Check me out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Leon St. Giovanni. The handle's the same all across the board. Yeah, actually been trying to game more. So add me on PlayStation Network too. LSG Giovanni. So get at me.
Guys, make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out Ring of Honor. LSG really showing us what he can do as far as singles goes, not just in Ring of Honor, but in Wrestle Pro, in Synergy. Make sure you check those out too. A couple of great promotions. LSG, I want to thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, man.
Until next time, guys, we're out.